So we finally have the last episode for Loki, season 2. It obviously follows Tom Hiddleston's Loki as he tries to save the TVA pretty much. This is going to be a spoiler review, so FYI, if you don't want spoilers, turn it off now. We don't want to hear you in the comments complaining. If you do, you're going to get blocked.
We did warn you.
Yeah, you have been warned. I'll warn you again one more time. So Loki season 2 obviously stars Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Owen Wilson, Sophia Di Martino, Ki-Hu Kwan, and Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains. So again, spoilers, because we're going to talk a lot about this. So James, what are your thoughts on season 2?
The MCU is back. If you've listened to any podcast, anything negative I've said about Marvel, I take it all back. Because they can create masterpieces. No, I'm just being a little bit dramatic, but man, I loved it. Oh, it's so good. It just takes me back to before Loki season 1 came out, and you know this. I was very, very critical about a Loki series because the character was done, he died, and he escaped in Endgame. Well, I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I was very against the idea of a Loki series, and it might be the best thing ever for the character. The ending of Loki's arc is quite near perfection. I think now he is one of the best comic book characters ever put to the screen. I mean, he is in the top 5 for MCU without a doubt. He's up there with the endings for Iron Man and for Captain America. Just very well-rounded character of what they've done with this. I'll focus more on season 2 now, but I thought it was very good. I think there's an episode or 2 in there where it kind of felt more exposition, kind of more like a filler kind of thing to it, and it didn't really do much. But overall, I thought it was really good. It brought a lot of thought-provoking concepts, and it actually kind of made me think while watching it. And I've been trying to watch other MCU TV series, and I do the opposite of think while I watch it because it just makes me relax and switch my brain off. This one actually makes me think. And that's what I like when in any form of storytelling, I want to think about it and I want to know what's going on. I think Loki does a perfect job of that. It also finds little moments in there to focus on character. It just, you're going to get little bits of Mobius, you get bits of Loki as well. Obviously, the focus is on Loki, and also Sylvie as well. Also, the comedy in this, it's funny. There's actually some really funny parts in that.
No cheese.
It's not cheesy. It's not cringy. It's not the Marvel formula. It doesn't, when there's an emotional moment, it doesn't just say a random joke and kills the entire mood. It's very well placed. I think the writers did a very good job here. And obviously it all builds up to that final episode where I guess Loki becomes like one of the most powerful beings in the entirety of the MCU, but I think it just really capped off his character real well. He takes the ultimate sacrifice. He kind of did what Iron Man did in Endgame and sacrifice, I guess, his life to preserve all these timelines. And yeah, I thought it was a really good job. I'm going to bounce back to you because it's hard to just get all my thoughts out at once for an entire TV show. But overall, what do you think? And we'll kind of bounce back and forth, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much the same thoughts as you. I thought it was fantastic. It's nice to finally watch an MCU product that's actually decent, because it's so rare these days, let alone a TV series, because most of the TV series are hit or miss.
Yeah.
You see it perfectly in regards to Loki, how like his arc is now fully complete. I think there were subtle teasers to previous films. I think the last episode was called Glorious Purpose, which is one of his main lines that he used, I think, in Avengers or something. Can't remember which one. And at the end of it, you fully see that he does have a glorious purpose. Now he has a throne to sit on, and he is now pretty much
it's just the best ending for him. Yeah,
he's now pretty much he who remains, but good. He's used to be the god of mischief, and now he's the god of stories. It's similar to the comic book, and it makes sense because he's holding all these timelines, so many stories in each of these timelines. So he's definitely eclipsed Thor in terms of not quite physical power, but just like his power.
I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
And I think it's nice to see Tom Hiddleston get a send off that way because we haven't really seen a villain get a fitting send off. I mean, you can say Thanos, but
Yeah.
that's an easy one. But for someone who's been in the MCU since the start, and he's like usually the main villain in a lot of things, you know. Not first Thor. Yeah, somewhat first Thor, second Thor.
Yeah, he is the villain of the first one. Yeah.
Avengers as well, you know.
Yeah.
It's nice, nice to see him get that send off that he deserves, and Tom Hiddleston definitely deserves that as well, because he pretty much put everything into this one role for 14 years.
It's become to the point where I couldn't really imagine anyone playing Loki.
No, it'd be very difficult.
Yeah, he is Loki now.
Yeah.
I think he's earned that status as Loki. Now, I mean, I wouldn't really go to say he's really a villain anymore. You really did see the villain to hero transformation.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, especially with the sacrifice of what he did. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I definitely, judging based on what Tom Hiddleston had said, I think he's mostly done playing Loki. We'll see him pop up, I think maybe once or twice, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where the MCU kind of goes and how this all played out. But I mean, we'll break it down more in terms of performances. Obviously, we don't really need to say much about Tom Hiddleston. He's exactly the same as Loki. Very good at what he does. Plays the character really nice. In fact, I will talk about him more. I think he does. I think he puts on a little bit more in here. There's just more emotion there, and you're kind of seeing that he's changed, and he does it in a very compelling way. Owen Wilson, he has fantastic comedic timing.
He does.
His delivery when it comes to comedic lines, I think it's just perfect. I don't know whether it's kind of like, I guess, a softness in his voice, or he just does it in such a good way.
It's just so calming.
Yeah. He's just such a wholesome person. And Mobius is just like, he's one of my favorite characters. He's just so fun to watch. I hope he's in more. Who else? Sylvie. Who plays Sylvie?
Sophie D something.
Yeah, I think she's very good at what she does as well. I just wish the character was given more. We obviously see her have go through quite a transformation in the first season. I thought she was kind of undercut in this season here.
Yeah,
I guess, which is fair if they're going to focus on Loki and his end. Jonathan Majors is a big talking point, though. I don't know where Marvel's going to go with this. But I mean, like, we'll just be completely honest. He played Victor Timely, He Who Remains, and that's the only Kangs he played in this. Yeah, he's very good.
He's so good.
He's very good at what he does, and we'll see what happens with his court case. But just in Loki season 2, I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he played a compelling Victor Timely, and especially when you contrast that with He Who Remains, you can see the kind of very different Kangs. And he plays it very well. We'll have to see what happens. But what do you think in terms of the cast members? Any standouts for you on this? Ki Hu Kwan. Did you like him in it?
I did. He was very Ki Hu Kwan-y.
Yeah.
But he didn't like overstep or do anything. He was just there as like, the nerd, the founder of the TVA, pretty much. And like some of the realizations that he has is actually quite funny. Like when he's just like, oh, yeah, I see where you're coming from now. Or, oh, yeah, that could probably work. It's just real funny to see, because it's like stuff that he hasn't like really thought about. And then someone else says, and he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that working. So I thought he was great. I think the two standouts here is definitely Jonathan Majors and Tom Hiddleston. You wrapped up Tom Hiddleston nicely, but I think Jonathan Majors is absolutely fantastic. And if he didn't have this court case, I think the character of Kang is definitely his to own.
Yeah.
It's similar to Iron Man and blah, 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 blah. He's played 3 different versions of the same character.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Completely
it is
different.
absolutely amazing what he can do. And I really hope that he gets found not guilty, just so we can see more what else he can do as Kang, because he's fantastic in it. I can't really see another actor sort of do what he does.
I could easily see another actor doing what he does.
Who?
I don't know. I mean, there's been actors before that can play different versions of the same person. I mean, there's lots out there.
Lesser Noah ones.
Pardon?
Lesser Noah actors is what I was trying to get at.
Oh, you don't want some kind of A-lister to just jump straight in?
No.
I guess that's true, but it is still very early on, Jonathan Majors and Kang in the MCU. I think they could easily pivot. I think there are actors capable. I would only say that because the 3 Kangs we've gotten so far are very, very different. If there was only subtle differences, then it would be a much harder acting thing to do at that point to really showcase it subtly. But yeah, I mean, what we can see now is Jonathan Majors is very good at what he does.
Definitely. Definitely. And it didn't really set up Kang's future for the rest of the MCU. It was just more of a fitting end for Loki.
Yeah.
But which is nice. Like, it wasn't teasing the next thing or teasing Loki season 3 or Loki will appear or Kang will appear. You know, it was just the whole series was basically, or the season was basically just for Loki and his send off. And
did you wait for a post-credit scene?
I don't wait. I skipped.
Oh, you skipped to try and find it to see if there was one there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit annoyed because I wanted to see what was happening with Kang and stuff like that. But then I was like, I thought about it more, and I'm like, nah, I'm just glad they kind of focused on like the perfect ending for like Loki's character.
Yeah.
I thought that was the right decision. At the end of the day, it is called Loki. It's not called Kang Dynasty. And we'll see it play out. I presume it's pretty. You can kind of see where it's going to go now. The MCU has a little bit more direction. I assume he's just, as Loki's kind of, holding all these timelines together, Kangs and those timelines are just going to start uprising and doing what they need to do. And isn't the TVA's job is to now find just bad variants and stuff and just kill them there? Because they alluded to Kang the Conqueror on the MCU Earth.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's their purpose now.
Yeah, so I guess they're just trying to find the Kangs and just knock them off one by one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes. And obviously Loki has to appear again, I guess, in some way. But we always thought that season 1 was like the opening of the multiverse. I guess now is actually the multiverse because all these timelines are just, they're existing now. They're not all being like put into one to protect the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's completely out.
Yeah, so balls and marbles caught as to what happens. I guess the next time we'll see the multiverse proper is Deadpool, where the TVA is also.
Yeah, Deadpool 3 is going to be interesting.
So would you want to see any characters from Loki in Deadpool from the TVA? Like Mobius. Mobius.
I love Mobius.
Could you imagine him and Deadpool having like an interaction?
Oh, that would be the best. I need to see it. I need Mobius in Secret Wars.
Oh, definitely.
I just riding a jet ski, comes in, kills Kang.
He just runs him over.
Just drowns him and gets caught in like the motor.
What did you think of the score? Because I know that you really loved the first season score.
I mean, you loved it too,
yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah. It wasn't just me. The score is good. Let Natalie Holt compose everything in the MCU. There's one thing I don't like about the MCU, and this goes back to phase 1, is that the scores, mind you, some themes of characters are really good. Most of the scores are pretty bland.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just really bland and boring and dull. And obviously we get the good Captain America theme and Iron Man's theme is really cool and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But Natalie Holt kind of makes almost every piece of music just great. Like whenever I'm listening to it, I'm just like, wow, this sounds really good. It just adds such a level to, or like a layer to your enjoyment of watching the series. And, she just needs to be doing more stuff as well. But I think she composed Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think that kind of dropped the ball. So we'll have to see. But Loki season 2, I thought she did a really good job. In the last episode, immaculate. It was just so good. Everything was just coming together, and I was like, I felt it, man. I felt the music. I felt the scene. It was just, it was so well done.
She really knows how to make things intense. Like that whole last episode was just intense with Loki, like, trying to find a fix for the TVA, even going learning physics for centuries.
It was so funny when they helped out centuries later.
And then he's just like schooling everyone, and Mobius just like, what the fuck is going on?
I loved everyone's like confusion. They're like, how are you doing this? And even Kihu Kwanzaa B is just like, what?
And just like him like yelling at Victor Tony, he's like, go faster, faster, faster. It was really good.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just hit so well. But no, the whole synthwave, approach to Loki's theme, I think it's perfect for his theme. We should have discovered that back all the way in the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
I wish they had just had his music there the entire time. But yeah, no, I mean, Loki season 2, it's good. Does this give you any faith in Marvel? I mean, and I think we have some faith in Marvel because they had 10 years of very good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just lately they've been not so great. And this one obviously contributes to the larger MCU story. So yeah, how does this make you feel about, I guess, the larger MCU as a whole?
I don't know. I'm still reserving judgment, because they've had so many L's since Endgame. I mean, the two best things this year is Loki and Guardians 3. Guardians 3,
they're both good, really good stuff. Yeah, but
Guardians 3 was just because it was the final chapter from James Gunn for these sort of characters. So obviously that was always going to be good.
Yeah,
and Loki was setting up the pretty much the next phase. Both seasons really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like as if all these filler type series and movies don't do it right because they're not really building towards something, but stuff where it is building towards something, the larger story, it seems to nail. So maybe we'll see, maybe Deadpool's good. If Deadpool is actually good, then I think I'll have a little bit more faith, and my comments is backed up that where they purely focus on the larger story ahead rather than just a small little side story.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely correct, especially with Guardians as well. It's kind of the endings with Loki and Guardians. So when it's either focusing on larger MCU, but also focusing on the characters, like we're talking that Loki got a great character ending. The Guardians ended really well. When it focuses on characters and it focuses on the larger MCU, I think that's when MCU kind of hits gold with it. But if it's not focusing on the characters and it's just plot, and there's no reason to care because we don't care about the characters, that's when it loses us. Yeah. I don't really know what else is coming up next. Is it Echo next? Is there anything? Oh, there might be What If coming out.
Yeah, I think it is What If and Echo.
Who cares about What If?
Filler stuff, really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for Echo. If Deadpool 3 and Echo are good, might have to jump back on the MCU train, mate. I might just have to because Echo does look really good.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's in not MCU Spotlight, Marvel Spotlight.
Yeah, which is MCU, but just the small one.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it to understand the larger stories at hand.
Which is good. I'm glad I know that now.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about Loki visuals?
Watch it. If you're down on the MCU, watch Loki. Oh, the visuals. One thing I want to say about visuals. This series, I don't know the exact figure, but I think it was between 150 to 160 million to make the series. And like She-Hulk was 225 million. And there's not much action or CGI in that movie besides She-Hulk. So it just shows that you don't need the ridiculous 200 million plus budgets to make it look good.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say Loki had like great visual effects or I was like blown away or anything. I think they're completely standard industry normal kind of VFX. I loved the actual cinematography of the entire series. This kind of probably plays a lot more into production design as well. Just the design of the TVA, just little things like the pie eating room. Just creative things like that. But it looks nice and it's just done so well. And obviously I love the final episode where all those timelines are wrapping around him into that tree,
and it's just green.
Yeah, it's like whoa. Just creative stuff like that. It just adds so much more to these movies. But yeah, I just wanted to make that point. Otherwise, I don't have too much to say on it. I loved it. Give this one a chance. I know the numbers for it weren't so great in terms of people watching the premiere episode, so this one deserves the watch.
Definitely. So, what would you give the score? Your score?
Oh, give the score? My score? The score is a 10. I don't know. Do you have your number?
I always go first, don't I?
I just need more time to think about it because I'm always thinking about like my thoughts and opinions. I don't really think about the number. Putting a number on this one.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
So my score for this one would be a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Holy shit.
Shit. I just think what they did with Loki in terms of like, completing his arc from someone that's like was aimless at the start of the MCU was just perfect. You know, like
Yep.
the start of MCU, he was dying and then coming back and then dying again. He like served no purpose to the larger story.
Yeah.
And then Loki happened, and it's just perfect. You know.
Mm-hmm. I am with you. I'm going to go 9.2. I was thinking somewhere in the nines, and then I was like, oh no, like Nan's gonna like think that's way ridiculously high. But yeah, no, man, you bang like right on the nail there. It's very good. I think it's one of the best things that Marvel's ever done. One of the best things that MCU's ever done.
So Loki season 1 and 2 and Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame. Which one do you think is better?
Infinity War.
Infinity War. No, in terms of so it's
combining them.
So it's Loki season 1 and 2, and then you got Infinity War and Endgame because they're both sort of two-parters.
True.
Towards...
I don't know if I could compare it to both Avengers together, but if I'm dividing them all four, I would say Loki season 2 is above Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's top 5 MCU. Honestly, I think it's really, really good. Marvel needs to lean into this a lot more, and especially moving forward. Thor deserved this. Thor deserved this kind of treatment.
He does.
And he got Love and Thunder.
Hey,
just such a clown movie.
There might be Thor 5 where he might actually redeem himself, but I doubt it.
As long as Taika stays far away, nothing personally against Taika.
See, that's so annoying because the thing with Thor is that Ragnarok set his characterization up perfectly, you know, and then Infinity War nailed in the head.
Very good, yeah.
And then Endgame sort of messed it up a little.
Why did they make it? They made him a joke.
Yeah, and then Love and Thunder happened.
I don't understand how he went bad from Infinity War to Endgame. It was made by the same directors at the same time, back to back. They nailed him amazingly, and then they just made him a fat joke.
I know.
And it was just a weird change. Yeah, and then he became even more of a joke. In Love and Thunder. Oh, I'm not going to talk about that. I just want to think about Loki.
All right. Well, at least one of the Odinson brothers has good content at the moment.
Yeah. Hopefully Thor can redeem himself.
Cool. That will do us for our Loki review. If you complain about the spoilers, you know what you're going to get. So shut your mouth up right now. If you haven't seen it, but you listen to this video or this podcast, then sorry. But
why are you watching this? If you haven't seen it, it makes no sense. I mean, thank you for watching it, but yeah, sorry, it makes no sense.
No. If you have seen Loki season 1 and 2 and you want to share us your thoughts, head over to X/Twitter or Instagram and let us know your thoughts. See if you do agree with us in saying that Loki is probably one of the best MCU characters ever. And if you enjoy this review, you can head over to wherever you pod from, Spotify or Apple Podcast or whatever, and search Let's Be Real, and all of our reviews are there, and not just reviews, also our podcast, Let's Be Real. So give us a listen and you can see what antics we get up to and other spoilery stuff that we talk about. So be sure to head over to moviegains.com because we also write content. We do stuff like Oscars, box office, and physical media. So definitely check that out. We'll catch you on our next review, probably tomorrow, but depending on when you listen to this, it won't be tomorrow. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Peace.